Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Words I never thought I would say, because I did talk about doing this for quite a long time, but never got around to it because, well, frankly, just laziness. That's it, laziness. But I'm here now, and hopefully I can make it a more regular thing. So let's see how this goes. If you're anything like me, which you probably are, because you're here, let's face it, you've probably thought to yourself at least once or twice, I wonder what I would look like as one of those creepy Victorian portraits that I see so often discarded at the antique mall. Well, now you won't have to wonder. You can find out for yourself. I've never been a huge fan of the modern family portrait, I guess, the type you go get taken at the mall. Not quite my aesthetic, but I'm still a very sentimental person, so I figured what better way to marry the two ideas than creepy Victorian portrait. It's a fairly quick and easy project, and it's perfect for the upcoming Halloween season, though I must note that having period-appropriate attire really helps kind of put this all together. But you know, don't let that stop you. So bear with me, first time ever uploading a video like this, but hopefully I did a clear enough job of explaining the step-by-step process. And I also have left links in the description for the overlays that I use to achieve this particular look. Good luck and happy crafting. Alright, so I'm starting here with the original image. As you can see, my hair was very flat, so I'm gonna go to the liquify tool and pump up the volume. Make sure to freeze anything that you don't want warped. So just play around with that until you like the way that it looks. When you're happy with that, just duplicate that layer, and I'm gonna go ahead and go in and blur the background a bit. Just to get rid of any texture that's on the wall. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to turn it black and white, and the setting is going to be in infrared. I'm going to play with the exposure a bit so that I can flatten things out just a little bit. Go into the layer mask and brighten up anything that you want brightened up. I'm going to make the image a little darker so that there can be more contrast and make it look even flatter. Go ahead and brighten up once again, whatever you want brightened up. Once you like how that looks, we're going to flatten the layer. And we're going to distort it because I realized that the angle that I took this photo at was not exactly symmetrical, but that can easily be fixed. So now we're going to go in with the dodge tool, and this is going to really give that tin type effect to any bright spots in the image. So mostly you want to focus on the eyes or any kind of jewelry. I also went in and brightened up the highlights in my hair. Kind of gave me that old woman with gray in her hair kind of look. It makes everything look very intense and more dimensional. I'm realizing that I had winged eyeliner on, and that doesn't really go with the time period, so I'm just using the clone stamp tool to get rid of that and round my eyes out a little bit. Alright, now that that's done, I'm going to duplicate that layer. We're going to go up to Camera Raw Filter And this is where we can start playing with getting rid of a lot of the texture in the image. So we're going to bring down that texture. I brought it down to about -75, but feel free to play around and see what is to your liking. Also added a tiny bit of vignette, as well as grain. We're going to bring down the dehaze setting as well. Now we have everything looking very flat and kind of airbrushed. However, I'm going to want to bring in a little bit of those details, especially from my clothing. So we're going to add a mask and start to reveal some of the detail from the image below. Now I'm just going to bring in all the overlays that I have. You can see that I set this one to soft light and turn the opacity down. This one was set to multiply. And the daguerreotype texture overlay is also set to multiply with the opacity brought down a bit. Now we're going to play with the curves. So bring that down a bit to add a lot of contrast. But we're going to go in and play around with this as well. I went into the mask and brought the opacity of the brush down. Started bringing in some of the brightness to the faces. Now conversely, the burn tool darkens areas up, so it's going to add even more dimension to your image. This is going to give your subjects a very defined look. Once again, flatten all the images together and go back to the camera raw filter. I'm going to bring the texture down even more, as well as the dehaze. Now it's really starting to look like an old portrait. I brought that same curves layer back up to the top just to duplicate what I had done before. We're going to crop this down a little bit because I feel like there's a little bit too much going on overhead. And then play with the hue and saturation and bring the saturation down because I feel like it's a little overly sepia. And yeah, there you have it, the finished product. Now go buy a fancy antique frame and frame that in your house.